I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, first, let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show and what you're going to educate about the show. Well, that's when you can click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from the Renegades Puck are all still available in our online store, whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, makes no difference to the Renegades Puck. You can outfit your entire person or your entire home with Renegades of Puck merchandise, and we would really appreciate it if you would do that. After all, we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. Please go check us out on X, on Threads, on Instagram, on several other platforms. You can find us Facebook. We're on all those different places. Doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't take you but a second, but it sure does help out the Renegades of Puck. So please jump in the trenches on social media with the Renegades of Puck. Today you can find us on YouTube. That is of critical importance to this operation. So please, if you can, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just search Renegades of Puck on YouTube. You'll find us, and you'll recognize everything as soon as you see it. You can catch all the recaps, previews, all the full episodes of Renegades Puck TV, the interview segments, and so much more right there on our YouTube channel. The audio podcast, thanks to the Full Press NHL Network and the Full Press Predators podcast, we have now surpassed 10 million all-time downloads and replays. This is a most significant and historical milestone for this show and, frankly, for any podcast that has ever been in the business of podcasting. From the radio days to the podcast days, we have certainly exceeded many people's expectations. You can find the Renegades of Puck podcast on numerous platforms. Spotify would be the best option, but you can also find us on Google, Stitcher, Amazon, several different platforms. Whichever it is you prefer, search Renegades of Puck, and please continue supporting the show. Thank you so much. Stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you. Venmo, that's how you can support the show financially. You can make a donation by scanning the QR code that's currently on your screen, or just going to Venmo and searching Renegades of Puck. Every dollar goes a long way to helping this operation, so please, if you can spare a dollar, do so. We are always looking to upgrade our technology, our equipment, and build out the studio. Even if it's not the parts that you see, it's always under construction, just out of view. Believe me, we've been working on quite a few things around here, so it's a bit of a mess just outside of the frame. But aren't we all? Truly, aren't we all? It's time for the No Half Step in Hockey coverage, so let me deliver the goods. It's time for operation number 880. That's right, show number 880. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 62 games skated. That means only 20 games remaining in the season. That's right, it's an 82-game season minus 62 games. That means 20 games left. I can do some basic math. Preds have a record of 35, 25, and 2. 72 points has them 11 points out of first place in the Central Division, 7 points out of an automatic qualifying playoff spot of third, and in the wild card 1 position. I slowed down for emphasis on all of that because, frankly, it's quite remarkable to be saying those words with 20 games remaining in the season. The Nashville Predators have a record of 17-15-0 on home ice, turning that into a positive very quickly on this homestand, and that is where their next game will take place. Overall, in the season, the Preds have scored 199 goals. They have given up 190 against. They have a goal differential of +9 at this moment. Let's update you on the entirety of the Central Division, and let's also add the wild card after that. The Dallas Stars are in first place in the Central Division. They've skated in 63 games in the season. They have 83 points overall. They are 11 points ahead of the Nashville Predators and 2 points ahead of the second place Winnipeg Jets. The Colorado Avalanche are in third place with 79 points, so 4 points separates first through third in the three-team weave that we've talked about consistently throughout the season. Now, are the Predators a legitimate threat to break into that group? group, well, suddenly only 7 points behind means you have to at least look in your rear view mirror and keep an eye on the situation, as the surging Predators on an 8-game winning streak are only 7 points out of the 3-team chase at the top of the division. The Predators leading in wild card 1 with 72 points also have a 7-point lead over the 5th place St. Louis Blues in the Central Division. The Minnesota Wild are in 6th place with 62 points, falling 10 points back from the Predators at this point, and they were so close just recently when they met head-to-head. The Arizona Coyotes are in 7th place with 53 points, and the Chicago Blackhawks in 8th place in last in the Central with 35 points on the season. Now, in the wild card, which has become fascinating, the Nashville Predators were on the outside looking in just a handful of games ago. Now, the Nashville Predators are the wild card 1 team, 72 points overall, and LA is the wild card 2 team with 70 points. On the outside looking in is St. Louis in the first slot at 65 points, Calgary at 65, Seattle at 63. So the Nashville Predators have opened up a 7-point cushion on their current playoff position. It is quite incredible and remarkable, again, to be talking about such things at this point in time in the year. Now, moving on from this discussion of standings, let's talk about the Nashville Predators for a moment, then the Canadiens, and then let's talk about the two teams combining to play a hockey game against each other. The Nashville Predators, after they wrap up this next game against the Montreal Canadiens, will close out the 5-game homestand against the Buffalo Sabres on Thursday night. Saturday, the Preds will be in Columbus, face off against the Blue Jackets for the first time this season. Early start time. Sunday, another early start time in Minnesota. So quick back-to-back 2-game road trip for the Nashville Predators over the weekend. On the 13th of March, the Preds will be in Winnipeg. On the 16th of March, the Preds will be in Seattle. That's, of course, the classic SEC basketball tournament time. Schedule it in for every year at this time when the Preds will be out of Nashville. Now, Predators and Canadiens are meeting for the second time this season, and this will wrap up the regular season series between these two teams. Back on December the 10th is when they met the previous time, and it was in Montreal. The Predators scored the 2-1 victory. UC Saros got the victory, going 36 out of 37 in that game. He was quite good against the Montreal Canadiens. Sissons scored both of the goals for the Nashville Predators. Roman Josi had 2 assists in that game. Allen took the loss, 30 out of 32. Evans scored the goal for Montreal. Now, talking about Montreal, overall on the season, 23, 28, and 10. 56 points, has them 7th overall in the Atlantic Division. On the road, they have a record of 11, 12, and 7. This team manages to get to overtime quite a bit. 173 goals for, 219 goals against. That's a goal differential of minus 46 in their most recent stretch of play. Let's go back and talk about the last 5 games. It was February the 22nd when the Montreal Canadiens had a 4-1 loss at the Pittsburgh Penguins. On the 24th of February, 4-3 loss at the New Jersey Devils. On the 27th of February, a 4-2 win versus the Arizona Coyotes. On the 29th of February to close out the month, a 4-3 shootout loss at the Florida Panthers, but picked up a point there. And on March the 2nd, a 4-3 shootout loss at Tampa Bay, again picking up a point there. So they picked up points in 3 consecutive games. Primu got the start in net. He went 27 out of 30. He did take the loss in the shootout in this game. So between the Nashville Predators and the Montreal Canadiens, let's take a look at the NHL rankings at this point in the season and all of the team numbers. In the goals for category, Montreal, 2.77 goals per game is 27th best in the NHL, while the Nashville Predators 3.18 is 15th. Now, while the Predators' goals for per game has ticked up quite a bit, their ranking has not really moved up too dramatically. They've remained right here in the middle teens for quite some time. But 3.18 is a really solid number for this Nashville Predators team, and they had dipped below 3 at one point when they were struggling not all that long ago. In the goals against category, the Preds are giving up 3.06 per game. That's 16th in the NHL, while Montreal is giving up 3.49 per game. That's 27th in the NHL. In the shots category, 4, the Predators generating 31.2 per game, 13th. Montreal generating 28.3 on net per game. That's 26th in the NHL. In the shots against category, the Preds are giving up 30.3. That's 19th overall. Montreal is giving up 33.3. That is 30th overall, just 2 spots from the bottom of the league. The special teams situation, the Nashville Predators come out on the top side of both of these statistical metrics. Let's start with the power play. 19.7% conversion rate for the Predators, 18th overall, but that doesn't sound as interesting as when you say 42 power play goals on 213 power play opportunities. That's where your raw data works out right there. The Montreal Canadiens power play is 19.3%. They're 21st overall in the NHL, 38 out of 197. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Nashville Predators are killing off 76.2% across the season. That's 26th in the league. 46 power play goals against. It's a big number, but not as big as the number on the other side of the ledger. The Montreal Canadiens have given up 54 power play goals against on the season. They have the 30th rated penalty kill in the NHL, and their kill rate is 74.2%. When it comes to each and every team in the NHL, of course, there's a bunch of high-skilled individual players. We always like to run down the top 5 scorers for each of these clubs. Why don't we start with the visiting Montreal Canadiens in this situation? Suzuki, 24 goals and 35 assists for 59 points. That's a good season for a team that is only at 56 points overall in the year. Caulfield, 19 goals, 20 assists for 48 points. Matheson, 8 and 35 for 43. Monahan, 13 and 22 for 35. And Skovsky, 13 goals, 18 assists for 31 points overall. In the Nashville Predators statistics leaders, Philip Forsberg is at 29 goals, now 33 assists for 62 points overall, maintains his point per game pace. No reason to believe Philip Forsberg is going to slow down with the way that he is skating right now. The captain, Roman Josi, is on an absolute tear. He's at 15 goals and 46 assists now for 61 points, just 1 point behind Philip Forsberg. And long forgotten, except by me, are the early slow start by Roman Josi at the very beginning of the year. But no, he's made up that ground and then some. And it's no reason to believe the captain, Roman Josi, isn't going to put up one of his best seasons all-time offensively. No, not as good as that season, but I mean, the way he's piling up points, I'm just not going to doubt anything is possible. O'Reilly's at 22 goals and 29 assists for 51 points. Gus Nyquist also at 51 points. His breakdown goes 16 goals, 35 assists. And Tommy Novak, 5th on the team in scoring with 13 goals and 21 assists for 34 points. All he does is make plays. Potential goaltending matchup in this one, an updated stat sees UC Saros at a record of 26, 21, and 2, a 908 save percentage, a 2.82 goals against average, and Primu, who took the loss in the shootout, is a record of 5, 6, and 2 now, a 901 save percentage, 3.04 goals against average, 1 shutout. UC Saros has 2 shutouts on the season. That's got you all set up for the Nashville Predators to wrap up the 2-game regular season series against Montreal Canadiens at Bridgestone Arena. It's the 9th game that the Predators will attempt to win in a row. Impressive stuff by this Nashville Predators squad right now, whose season was almost left for dead. Now it's turning into something of legend very quickly. We've got to talk about what happened with the Nashville Predators last game. It was against Colorado Avalanche at Bridgestone Arena, and it was the pivot game of this 5-game homestand. It's called the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap, and it's coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports Full Game Recap. We go all the way back to March the 2nd of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were facing off against the Colorado Avalanche in an early evening start at Bridgestone Arena. Head coach Andrew Brunette deployed his lines of defensive combinations the following way, and they should sound familiar because since the team is on a winning streak, he hasn't changed a thing. Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Trennan, Sizensen, Glass, Jankowski, then Novak and Evangelista. Sherwood, McCarron, and Smith make up your fourth line. Your defensive pairings are Josi and Fabro, McDonough and Shen, Luzon and Carrier. UC Saros gets the start in net. We are just 38 seconds into this Central Division matchup, and UC Saros is coming up with a save on Taves, the first shot on goal of the game. At 109 of the game, it's Georgiev coming up with a save on Dante Fabro, the first shot on goal for the Nashville Predators. 3:28 mark of the first period. UC Saros comes with a save on Zach Parise. 3:57 Saros, a save on Taves. 5:27 Saros, a save on Cogliano's backhand. And 6:23 Saros, another save, this time on on Druin at the back door. Good athleticism right here and tracking on this play by the netminder for the Nashville Predators. Colorado Avalanche getting the better of the play early in this game. At 8:17 of the first, it's Georgiev coming up with a save on Mark Jankowski. At the 9:53 mark, we find our first penalty special teams scenario of the game, and it's Cogliano and Glass each off to the box. 2 minutes for cross-checking. That leads to a 4-on-4 scenario. We would see a little bit of action, but not much happening right there. So once we return to 5-on-5 hockey, we find ourselves at the 12:37 mark of the first period. Georgiev coming up with a save on Jankowski's breakaway. Big save right here. Impressive save by Georgiev. 12:54 of the first. Saros comes with a save on Wagner at the 13:37 mark of the first period. UC Saros comes with a save on Nathan McKinnon at the 14:14 mark. Georgiev a save on O'Reilly. Teams trading scoring chances as the Nashville Predators are slowly starting to get their skates underneath them and get themselves back into this game after being a little bit lopsided and the ice tilted in the first part of this period. 15-17 of the first period. It is the Nashville Predators breaking through with the first goal of the game. It's Glass, his third of the season. Sissons carried it down the wall. Once he got to the half wall, decided the perfect thing to do was feed it towards the slot where Glass was waiting in perfect position, found some space, got open, and most importantly, finished the play for his third goal of the season. Nashville Predators lead 1-0 here in the first period. At the 16:41 mark of the first period, Georgiev coming up with a save on Alex Carrier, and at the 17:01 mark of the first, it's Nathan McKinnon with his 37th goal of the season, tying the game up at 1 apiece. A absolute wrist shot snipe off of the rush from the left circle. Not a thing UC Saros, nor frankly any goaltender can really do about it. He's one of the most explosive and one of the best offensive players in the entire NHL, and he does his thing again at Bridgestone Arena. His 37th of the season ties the game up at 1 apiece. At 17:49, Georgiev comes with a save on Trenton with the end of the first period with the game tied at 1 apiece, and the shots on goal even at 10 apiece. We hit the clean sheet in the second period, and we found the 1:16 mark for our first action. That's UC Saros coming up with a save on McKinnon. A really good, strong save here to start the period. 1:57 of the second period. It's Saros coming up with a save on Colton at the 2:15 mark of the second. Georgiev comes with his first save of the period. And Captain Roman Josi, Predators' first shot on goal. 3:07 into the second. It's Georgiev coming up with a save on Luzon, who was an offensive powerhouse in this game, putting on some good high-skill displays at different times. At the 4:09 mark of the second, it's Saros coming up with a big-time save on O'Connor. 4:49, Georgiev a save on O'Reilly. Teams continue trading chances, and then we find the 8:09 mark of the second period where we find Zach Parise off to the box. 2 minutes for holding. It was on Luzon as Luzon took the puck in deep. I don't mean to chuckle, but it was quite the impressive offensive display by Luzon to skate the puck in, earn the power play, and continue just being mugged and just keep possession of the puck, then get the puck back. It was impressive stuff is what I'm trying to say. The Preds on to the power play here. Georgiev comes up with a save on Philip Forsberg. Then Georgiev comes up with another save on Luke Evangelista before the end of that power play. We hit the middle point of the game, just past that at 10:32 of the second. Georgiev comes up with a save on Carrier, 10:43. Another save, this time on Trennan. Partial breakaway right here. Yakov Trennan just could not power that puck through, which there wasn't a lot of skill to this move. It was really just trying to steamroll the puck into the net. Georgiev would not give an inch in this scenario. 13:08 into the second period. Saros coming with a save on Kiranta at 14:26 of the second period. It is Glass with his fourth goal of the season, his second goal of the game. A goal in the first, now a goal in the second. Tommy Novak sets him up from below the goal line for the slot finish. Much like the first goal, gets to the open area, finds a little bit of space, stick down, open, and finishes the play. Really excellent setups on both of these goals by Sissons and then by Novak on this second one. Predators lead 2-1 now in the second period, 15:32 mark. The second is the Captain Roman Josi off the box, 2 minutes for holding. It was a risk-reward thing here where the Captain Roman Josi decided to take a 2-minute penalty and not let McKinnon get behind him for an easy run to the net, even though UC Saros would have got the puck right. Siosi's off the box, 2 minutes for holding. Saros comes up with a save on Makar during the penalty kill. That would be it for the Colorado Avalanche. They would not be able to generate any other shots on goal, and coming immediately out of the box, 17:56, Georgiev comes with a save on Josi, who just missed connecting cleanly for what could have been a better scoring opportunity. At the 19:31 mark of the second period, UC Saros, perhaps his best save of the game, comes on McKinnon. It was McKinnon McKinnon, who scored in the first period towards the end of the period, and he was looking to get the Avalanche back in the game right here and tie things up in Saros because with the absolutely massive 5-star save on this one. We hit the end of the second period with the Nashville Predators out shooting Colorado Avalanche 21-19. We are into the third period at Bridgestone Arena. 1:11 into the third. It's UC Saros coming up with a save on Leck, and then we go to the backside of the sheet. We find the 121 mark of the third period where Georgiev is coming up with a save on Philip Forsberg off of the rush. Forsberg putting on some power displays during this game. 221. Georgiev comes up with a save on the captain Roman Josi. 231. Georgiev a save on Luke Evangelista. The Nashville Predators have come out here for the third period and are buzzing. 3:09 into the third period. It's Wagner who hits the crossbar off of the rush. The release on this shot was simply incredible. Just not accurate enough to be in. He had UC Saros beat cleanly on this one. Pings iron, and we move on. 5:48 to the third period. It's Georgiev coming up with a save on Cole Smith's backhand at the 6:45 mark of the third period. It's Georgiev coming up with a save on the captain Roman Josi. 7:39. Preds continue dominating on the offensive side of things. Georgiev coming up with another save, this time now on Luke Evangelista. 8:10 into the third period. UC Saros checking back in, coming up with a save on Manson, plus the follow-up by Makar. This was a harder save than it sounded like. Good job by UC Saros maintaining his focus with not much work at this point in the period. The 9:09 mark of the third period. Taves is off the box. 2 minutes for high sticking on McCarron. Happened behind the play, so really a bad penalty. It was definitely an avoidable penalty in every circumstance, and it's going to be Georgiev coming with a save on Philip Forsberg on the power play, and then O'Reilly is going to convert for the Nashville Predators on this power play, his 22nd of the season, making it 3-1 now in favor of the Nashville Predators. It unfolded when Josi took the long shot from out high. It eluded the net, but went off the end wall and came perfectly to O'Reilly right along the goal line, who then put it in the top corner. Easy rebound put back for O'Reilly, who's made a career and a whole lot of money off of doing it from that range. 22nd of the season makes it 3-1 for the Predators. 12:35 now into the third period. Georgiev coming up with a save on Luzon's drive to the net. Another Jeremy Luzon offensive display. 13:34 to the third period. Georgiev comes up with a save on glass at the 14:50 mark of the third period. Georgiev comes up with a save on Gus Nyquist at the 15:39 mark of the third. Johnson's off the box. 2 minutes for hooking Predators back on the power play. Really all they need to do is kill some clock, but Tommy Novak's got other ideas, picking up his 13th goal of the season. He goes outside, inside, on the D, splits them in half, and then rips that puck into the net for the power play goal off of the rush. Highly impressive skills here by Tommy Novak's 13th goal of the season, makes it 4-1. 18:15 in the third. Saros comes with a save on Rantanen, plus a 5-star split rebound save on Leganen, allowing at 19:07 Glass to complete the hat trick with the empty net goal. His 5th of the season, 3rd of the game, 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Empty net goal, hat trick, collect the hats, and end this game with a score of 5-1 with the Nashville Predators out shooting Colorado Avalanche 36-26. So the Avs end up with only 7 shots on goal in the third period. The Nashville Predators absolutely take this game over in the final 20 minutes on home ice and look just simply impressive. Out of the win streak so far, which is now at 8, this is the best win against the best team. And the Predators looked outstanding. UC Saros was outstanding. And, of course, you have got to give all the stick taps in the world to Glass. He had more goals in this game than he had all season. He was extremely emotional on the bench in the post-game interview, and it was incredible to see the crowd at Bridgestone Arena rewarding that level of effort and getting behind a Nashville Predator like that and giving him a standing ovation for what amounted to at least a minute, if not longer. I think the Preds fans would have kept on going if they would have laid out and allowed it to go. But that was an awesome moment. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Full analysis coming up next right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. This is the full analysis portion and opinion of the show. Let's get into it. We always start in net. It's got to pick a starting point. The easiest place is always with the goaltender. Usually the most important performance of the game ends up being your goaltender. And UC Saros was absolutely outstanding in this game. 25 out of 26, picks up his 26th victory of the season. And it was basically the tale of Saros versus McKinnon in this game. The snipe by McKinnon in the first period near the end of the period, that shot with that much time, that much space, that beats any goaltender in the league. It wasn't just UC Saros getting beaten right there. It was the entire guild of goaltenders across the universe being defeated by one shot by Nathan McKinnon. He is truly that skilled and that good, which is why it made it so much more impressive when UC Saros stopped McKinnon at the end of the second period on I'll call it partial breakaway. It wasn't a full breakaway, but he had enough time and space, and with the speed he has to separate, he was only going to increase the separation if he had any more room to go. So there was no defender that was going to catch him. But the save at the end of the second period on McKinnon in on alone, an old school showdown, Wild West style, one-on-one, and it was UC Saros coming out on top. So McKinnon beat Saros early in the game. Saros beats McKinnon later in the game, and then Saros doesn't give up anything else after that. But it was a moment in the game where if McKinnon scores his second goal right there, the Colorado Avalanche have plenty of momentum going into the third period. It was the last minute of the second period. It was a huge moment in time, and the game could have turned out dramatically differently if UC Saros doesn't come up with that save. So it was overall not the heaviest workload night for UC Saros, but in dramatic moment, dramatic form, UC Saros came out with a save that absolutely turned the tide and the momentum and gave the Nashville Preds the opportunity to overwhelm the Colorado Avalanche there in the third period. UC Saros was simply outstanding in this game, I think is what I'm trying to say. In a matchup of superstar on superstar, UC Saros got beat once, and UC Saros won one of those and took the 2 points for his team. You can't not talk about Glass. 3 goals in this game. Listen, he had 2 goals on the entire season, and there were people out there that were absolutely ready to give up on Glass, and there still may be people willing to give up on him, but please table that for at least a day or two, and let's enjoy this moment in hockey history, because Glass scores 3 goals. 1 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the third. The goal in the first, Sissons makes the perfect pass off the half wall to the slot, quiet area, stick down, ready to go, finishes the play, goes to the hard area, gets rewarded. What happens in the second period? Near identical, goes to the slot, stick down, finishes the play, gets rewarded with the empty net goal because everybody wanted to see him get the empty net goal there at the very end of the game, gets the hat trick, and after the game, he gets, of course, the interview on the bench as the first star of the game, as is tradition, as always happens, as part of the television broadcast. But something else happened in this particular post-game interview. Listen, I stick around and I watch them all the time because that's part of the coverage. But this was different. The crowd stuck around and gave Glass a standing ovation after the game, to the point where just about everybody was in tears. An incredible moment. The fan base turning a curve right there. The fan base, I think, is truly back and behind this team and ready to go for the final 20 games of the season. But Glass, emotional, tears flowing, telling the crowd they're the best, and that's why they play as hard as they do. This group is coming together. This group is growing, and this is all becoming such an incredible positive after such a huge negative not that long ago. Glass, after struggling so much at this early point in his career, comes up with a hat trick and beats a hell of a hockey team in the Colorado Avalanche. And the standing O after the game was a very emotional moment, not just for the player, not just for the team and the fans, but for anybody who would have tuned into that, even the broadcasters making mention of that. So congratulations to Glass on getting a hat trick in the NHL and getting a hell of a fine new hat collection. Tommy Novak also scores a goal in this game, and that goal, let's not understate or forget what Tommy Novak, all he does is make plays. He had a goal and he had assists, 2 points in this game, but he goes outside, inside, makes the defender guess and look the wrong way, takes it and snipes at the net. That play was just highly impressive. That is good skill, and there's no surprise that the rumor is out there pretty quickly after that play that the Predators and Novak's agents may be getting close to the team agreeing to an extension. I want to see Tommy Novak stay as a Nashville Predator. I think that he is just now starting to scratch the surface of his potential. So we're going to find out more. But Tommy Novak, 2 points in this game. All he does is make plays. Talking about making plays, O'Reilly takes the puck off the end wall in the power play, puts it in from the sharp angle as he's done so many times in his career. Ryan O'Reilly is just easily one of the most enjoyable players to watch in these net front, net presence scenarios, in the hard areas, in the corners, behind the net. Ryan O'Reilly just works incredibly hard out there, and he picks up a goal in this one, his 22nd of the season for this Nashville Predators team, and that is awesome stuff too. Yossi picks up another assist in this one, 61 points on the season, dynamic and dominant everywhere. I mean, his defensive play in this game is probably not going to get nearly enough talk, but he was so strong and solid down the stretch, the final 20 minutes of this game. He also picks up assists now, 61 points on the season, just on an absolute tear, only 1 point off the team lead of Philip Forsberg for this Nashville Predators team. So just dynamic, dominant, leads his club to the 8th straight victory. Stick taps for that. McDonough's 2 assists in this game. That backhand pass that he made down the ice to Colton Sissons, I know it wasn't a blind backhand, that he wasn't looking, but it had the optic of that, and it was just a perfect backhand sauce pass, no look, from the defensive zone all the way out to the neutral zone. Sissons then drags it along the wall and sends it over to the slot for an easy conversion by Glass. McDonough's assist right there is just awesome to watch, and in a game that was truly full of highlights, if you haven't had a chance to really go back and take a look at that, you can find it just about anywhere. It made the highlights package on NHL Network for sure. Impressive stuff. McDonough, again, another just incredibly solid veteran, just like O'Reilly that we were just talking about, that's just simply enjoyable to watch. Also throw 4 block shots into this one for the old-timer in 21-31. By the way, it's not old-timer. He's a classic. That's the way that works. That's going to do it for the analysis and the opinion portion of the show. Stripe Digital Solutions is the next thing we're going to hear from them. We're going to get the good, cold, hard numbers of the box score. We're going to close this thing out. We're going to go enjoy a beautiful rest of the weekend here in the Middle Tennessee area, and we're also going to we're going to celebrate and give ourselves a little stick taps on the way out. So let's take a quick break. Let's get back with the box score right after this on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know, because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in, Renegades of Puck podcast, the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. This is the easiest thing in the world. Glass, 3 goals for the Nashville Predators. Novak and O'Reilly also chip in with goals in this game, so 5 total goals for the Nashville Predators, all scored by the forwards. When it comes to assists, a little bit better distribution throughout the lineup right here. McDonough leads the way with 2 assists in this game. Let's just go up the list. Yossi had an assist. Carrier had an assist. Then on the forward side of things, it was Sissons, Novak, McCarron with another point, career high, by the way, and Philip Forsberg picks up another point, team leading 62nd point of the season. When it comes to shots on goal, it was Glass. He had 6 shots on goal to lead the team, 3 goals, 6 shots total. It was Roman Josi with 4 shots on goal. Nobody else more than 3. That was Jankowski, O'Reilly, and Trennan. Of course, O'Reilly scores a goal on 1 of those 3 shots. When it comes to blocked shots, it was Ryan McDonough with 4 block shots in this game. Nobody else above 2, and it was only 2 other defenders, so let me tell you who they were. The captain, Roman Josi, getting in the way, and Alex Carrier continues putting up really solid stats in these categories, the categories that aren't noticed by too many people on an often basis. But Alex Carrier is putting together a truly nice. He's also 22.05 in total time on ice, but I'm not to that category yet, so let's get back to the hits category. First, only 4 leads in this game. The high by Luzon. Luzon's hits were noticeable in this game, even though they were not as numerous as normal. They were highly noticeable. Shen also with 4 hits again. His were impactful and punishing. No one else on the team with more than 2 hits. No other defender on the Nashville Predators with a single hit in this game, and that's something I would like to see increase just a little bit, a little more physical punch from this Nashville Predators team over the final 20 games of the season. They're certainly capable of it, and they certainly will get out there and get after it. Plenty of hits in the 2 range amongst the forwards, of course. McCarron is on that list. Sherwood, Sissons, always, as you would expect. When it comes to time on ice leaders, this is the category I would like to spend a couple seconds remarking on. Your time on ice leaders amongst the forwards. It was Luke Evangelista at 16:29, and then Ryan O'Reilly at 16:04, and then Yakov Trenin at 15:41. If you notice something about those 3 time on ice leaders, they're not on the same line together. They're on separate lines. And I also would like to notate that 16:29 is the time on ice leader, and then I should have circled it to make this quicker. I believe it's 12:54. 12:54 is the least amount of time by any forward skated, and that is by Cole Smith in this game. So 16:29 to 12:54, only 3.5 minutes separated top time on ice leader from bottom time on ice for the Nashville Predators forwards. That is the clearest indication that the Predators are rolling all 4 lines. It's the clearest indication that every single player in the lineup is contributing and competing to an acceptable level by the coaching staff. And it's also an incredible indicator that Andrew Brunette, now that he's got 62 games as a head coach under his belt of this Nashville Predators team, seems to understand and seems to have his system in place and is utilizing every single asset that he has out there on the rink. This type of balanced ice time is the type of thing that can help a team go a long way, not burning out your top line, your second line, and giving everybody an opportunity, and everyone is contributing right now. So it was worth spending some time notating this about Andrew Brunette and how he's deploying his forward grouping, especially. The time on ice leaders of the defense, it's a little bit different. It's going to continue to be a little bit different, but it was Alex Carrier leading the team in total time on ice in this game, 22:05, 21:31 for McDonough, 21:12 for Yossi. Good album, 21:12. You should listen to it. Trust me. It came out the year I was born. 20:53, Luzon. That's another over 20-minute for defense right there. So for the Nashville Predators, that time on ice conversation was worth having because they are in an 8-game winning streak right now, and it is one of the reasons the formula is working night in and night out and will serve them greatly coming up Saturday, Sunday on the back-to-back with the early starts of next weekend when the Nashville Predators will need to be as fresh as possible. All right, where does that leave us in the box score? Time on ice leaders for special teams. Let's do that real quick. Power play, 2-4-3 for this Nashville Predators team. That's one of the best stat lines I've had on the power play in quite some time. 308 for Gus Nyquist on the power play. 227 for Tommy Novak. 236 for Ryan O'Reilly, 305 for Roman Yossi, and 123 for Ryan McDonough. The PK was 1 for 1, 56 seconds for Yakov Trenin, 55 seconds for Ryan O'Reilly, 127 for McDonough, 104 for Luzon. In net, UC Stars was 25 out of 26, gave up 1 goal against an in-game save percentage of .962, 23 even strength saves, 1 power play save, 1 short-handed save in this game. Just a couple other things falling out of the box score before we wrap up this episode. Face-off winning percentage for the Nashville Predators, 53.2%, which is good. Always be on the top side of 50 in that situation. 17 hits is a little bit lower than I would like against a division rival, especially a team like the Colorado Avalanche. 13 blocked shots. Again, that's also a little bit low, but the shots on goal for Colorado was also quite low. So the Nashville Predators did quite a good job defensively and limiting the Colorado Avalanche from even being in those scenarios. 9 takeaways is better than 8 giveaways, so I am satisfied when it comes to that particular statistical measure. That's going to do it for the good, cold, hard numbers known as the box score. A lot of good things revealing themselves in here. That's why we take the time. That's why we discuss it right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast. Listen, it's the easiest way in the world to close this one out. 8 in a row. Keep it going. 8 in a row. 2 wins shy of the all-time winning streak for this Nashville Predators team. They had one other 8-game winning streak. That was the time they started the season with 8 straight wins. Back in the President's Trophy winning season, they won 10 in a row. They have a game against Montreal and a game against Buffalo on this homestand. Then they go on the road, Columbus, Minnesota, Winnipeg, Seattle. I don't know, but if the Nashville Predators can continue rolling in the way they have, continue playing the way they've been playing, and remain without any big injuries. I don't expect any big changes to come anytime soon, and I expect Barry Trotz, Andrew Burnett, and the team to just keep on rolling, keep on doing what they are doing. This is highly impressive stuff. And again, realistically, are the Nashville Predators in the chase for the Central Division title? No. But they are suddenly in the rearview mirror and getting closer every day. Every time they win one of these games, they've picked up 16 points in their last 8 games and are trending in the right direction in every statistical metric. They have a winning record on home ice at 17-15, a great winning record on the road of 18-10-2, a goal differential that's in the positive, and a lot of other metrics that have trended up in the right direction. Now, if they can continue getting the goaltending from UC Stars, the balance scoring, the depth, and all of that, then this Nashville Predators team could keep rolling, and that's exactly what they should do. Closing out the final good news, the final good thing, the final thanks. Stick Tabs, love, and respect to each and every one of you. 10 million. It should not be taken lightly. It is not taken lightly. It is something that I have very, very much looked forward to for many years. The only one who believed in this show's possibilities was me, and that is why we left the mainstream media and went independent and went solo, and that's why we are here in the bunker, our own built studio with our own hands, our own blood, sweat, and tears, our own effort, and that's why we spent the time building it up before signing a distribution deal with the Full Press NHL Network. That partnership has been one of the best things that has ever happened to not only this show, but to me professionally. I cannot thank everybody at Full Press enough for the support, for allowing me the creative freedom to put on the show that comes from my vision, from the bunker, the Renegades of Puck. It all came from here, and it all came from here. That's what we're here to do. We're here to cover the sport. We're here to have fun with the sport, educate, and also present in a way that not anyone else can do. Appreciate each and every one of you for checking the show out, listening to the show, whether you do that once in a while or all the time. It all means the same. I love you. Thank you so much. Stick Taps, love, and respect. Let me get emotional like glass now, but I'm going to do it once the camera goes off. No, I'm getting emotional right now. Stick Taps, love, and respect, Renegades. I'm your host, Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. I sure do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for making this show and for making me a success.